Welcome back to Living Higher. Before we get started, I just want to apologize. I know I haven't been so consistent recently. Baruch Hashem, there's been a lot going on. Life has definitely managed to get in the way a little bit. But Bez Hashem, we're hoping to be back on a more consistent basis now, and a huge yasher koach for those who have reached out. It really gives me a lot of chizuk to know that there's people out there that are listening, that are interested, and that are curious as to what's going on. So this week's topic is Tefillah. It's not just davening, it's food for the soul. Assuming that we spend an hour a day davening and 2 hours on Shabbos, this would amount to 32 hours a month, the equivalent of more than one full day in each month spent in Tefillah. Over the course of the year, it would equal 416 hours, which amounts to over 17 days. More than 2 weeks out of each year, on average, more or less, we're probably spending davening. We're probably spent in tefillah, in prayer. Rav Yitzchak Breitowitz, the Rosh Yeshiva of Ar Sameach, the famous Yeshiva Ar Sameach, he writes in his Michtav Bracha on the Sefer, The Art of Prayer, by Rav Shlomo David. So Rav Yitzchak Breitowitz writes like this, and I want to quote exactly what he writes, because he writes it really, really eloquently, really, really beautifully. Rabbi Yitzchak Breitowitz writes, in a famous metaphor, Rabbi Yehuda Halevi compares the 3 tefillos of the day to the 3 meals. Just as the physical body needs food, so too the soul, whose nutrition is comprised by the communion and kesher we have through our conversation with the Almighty. Far too often, however, our tefillah diet turns into the equivalent of junk food. As profoundly important as these encounters can be, we often squander them. Our prayers are superficial and unthinking. Worse, we can get bored and frustrated with the constant repetition of the same words and the time that it takes to say those words. Instead of tefillah being the high point of our day, a glorious, joyous opportunity to pour out our hearts and to open our souls to our loving Creator, it becomes a burdensome activity that we need to get through. Yes, it is surely better to daven than to not daven, just as it is better to eat junk food than to starve. But living in such a substandard way leaves a gaping hole in our souls, a poverty of the spirit that manifests its tragic results in all aspects of a diminished life. What a tragic waste. So this is what Rabbi Yitzchak Breitowitz writes regarding tefillah. He brings down from Rabbi Yehuda Halevi that the 3 tefillahs that we daven are comparable to the 3 meals that we eat each day, and that a tefillah that's not said the right way will be the equivalent of junk food. And while it's better than starving, but it's not ideal. It's not perfect. I was thinking about this, and it got me thinking that if tefillah is compared to eating, so what's the snack in between the 3 meals? What's the hopefully healthy snack that we eat in between meals to carry us on from one meal to the next? In the tefillah equivalent, what's that snack in between? That's the 4th tefillah. That's the tefillah that you say in your own words. Maybe it takes a minute, maybe a couple of minutes, but it's that earnest conversation with Hashem, that quick feeling that comes to your heart, where you take the opportunity to talk to Hashem. That is what it means to snack in tefillah. That's what could carry us from one tefillah to the next tefillah. Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik, the Torah calls Yosef HaTzadik, he was an ish matzliach. He was a successful person. We all want to be successful. What was the secret of Yosef HaTzadik's success? So Rashi tells us that Yosef HaTzadik didn't do anything without talking to Hashem first. Constantly, Hashem, tefillah, was on his lips, to the point where before he would serve his master, Potiphar, his meal, he would whisper, please Hashem, let me find favor in my master's eyes. Let him be happy with my service. Let me excel at what it is that I am trying to do. To the point where Potiphar saw Yosef murmuring before he would bring him his food. Potiphar was concerned, what's going on here? Is he trying to bewitch my food? Is there some sort of witchcraft going on? And he forced Yosef HaTzadik to tell Potiphar exactly what was going on. This is something that we all have to keep in mind. That yes, we all want the tefillahs, the 3 tefillahs that we do all day. We want those to be excellent. We want those to be not substandard, but the way they're supposed to be. But there's more than that. There's also that 4th tefillah, that unscripted conversation when you're by work, before you get on the phone, before you have a meeting with a boss, with a client, if you're at school, before you're taking the test, whatever it is, Hashem, this is what I need, this is what I'm going through. Please give me a helping hand. I know that you're the one in charge. I know it's all you. I know that you're the one that decides. These snacks could carry us literally from one tefillah to another tefillah, but not only could it carry us in between them, it also deepens and strengthens our connection and our relationship with Hashem, making our actual tefillahs, making our actual Shachris, Mincha, Ma'ariv that much better. Let's try to live a little higher. Let's try to internalize this and realize that we shouldn't say to ourselves, if we're struggling with our regular tefillahs, or if our regular tefillahs are rocking, oh, I have no need for this extra tefillah. No, this extra tefillah is literally the snack that carries us from meal to meal, giving us the ability to make the right choices, giving us the ability to eat healthy. This will deepen our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it will also deepen our Shachris, Mincha, and Ma'ariv.